What's up, y'all? It's CK, 1 Degrees Podcast. Are y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it.
That was by far the best. You can tell that this dude knows what he's doing. He's been on the mic.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
He's been on the mic. Welcome in, y'all. Special guest, CK, the man himself from the morning, what's it called? Morning Juice Crew, right? I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah, you got CK and Carmen. It's the Juice Crew, B95, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes,
you
sir.
got ESPN Radio too.
CK on Sports, Fox Sports Radio.
With Kenny Wiggins.
Sometimes.
Yes, Kenny does join me from time to time. Actually, Kenny keeps me straight, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because I go in there and I just talk like a fan.
Yeah.
So then Kenny is like, no. Let me explain this to you as someone that's actually played the game. I just go in there and go, wait, what's wrong? Something doesn't seem to be adding up. And then he just sets me straight.
Yeah, it's a nice little
It's a
relationship
team.
we got going on.
It's a team.
It's fun.
Yeah, that's what Kenny said. He said that you guys are you're a good team and you're a good fit, but you're not on all the time. It goes, you're just on every once in a while. But
so we do Fresno State football.
yeah, but
like, during
CK
the
is
season.
on all the time.
Yeah, CK's on.
I'm on every day. Monday through Friday, 1340 Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah, you do that. So you got the morning on B95,
Yes.
and then you go ESPN Radio, Talk Sports, and then you do Fresno football pre and halftime show
Do all of it.
and
yeah.
post game.
Yeah,
and post game.
everything.
But you only deal with Wiggins every once in a while.
Every so often.
So
But
you're
you
lucky.
know what?
I got to deal with him all the
time. Don't
and
you?
it's hard. I see this man almost every day. I got to deal with his 14 and you know he played football for a while, right? Everybody knows this.
Right.
And you know football players, they've been hit in the head a few times. This man's got CTE for sure. He tells me the same stories 50 times. Is he right?
How many times has he told you the
same-
Master P story?
Oh shoot. I'm pretty sure he remembers every time that he's told it. He
Right.
just likes hearing the story.
Oh, I love the
I
story.
love the
just likes
story.
it. Yeah.
That's one of my
He likes
favorite
it.
stories.
Go ahead, can you tell the story?
No, people just want to bring it up all the time though. So I feel like I have to tell it.
You have to tell it. It's one of the greatest stories of all time.
I know, but
Being up in the club with Master P. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. Like, you're underage in the club with Master P.
And you're the only white dude on stage.
Only white dude.
or in the whole entire building.
And probably the tallest white dude, the tallest person.
No, there
was a couple that were taller?
There was a dude on my team who was like 7 foot. At
Okay,
like
all right.
14 years old.
So he does that one. So that's a story. The Taylor Swift story.
Taylor Swift
you hear
story.
all the time
Yes, yes.
because I'm
Shake it off.
so tall
shake it-
and handsome as hell. I don't know how
it's
many
about me.
times we'll be in the gym and that song will play and he goes, "That was about me." It could be like a random person there.
Hey, did you know I hit a home run out of Chuck Chansey?
That's the new one, CK. So the new one, hey, he went to the Fresno State football game. Fresno State baseball game last week, and
Okay.
he sends me a picture, and he goes, "I can hit one out of this park,"
Oh, my gosh.
which he can because he hit one out at the Chuck, so he can definitely hit one out
But
there.
here's the thing. I saw the video of y'all doing that at the Chuck. How many times did it take for him to get one out? How many
Okay.
times? Come on,
I'm not
man.
gonna say
Look,
anything. Go for it.
Look, okay, I would say it took him about 20, 25 swings, but the first 10 were not good. First couple he whiffed,
Right,
hit the top of the cage,
right.
and then so I'm thinking like, man, I gotta make good contact with his bat.
Right.
So then I started making the pitches good.
All about Tyson.
He started to get a little
yes.
bit more confidence.
Right.
And then I let the big boy let it eat there.
I
and he
see
did.
what you
See
did
I'm saying?
there.
See what I'm
I
saying?
knew that there was some tricks to this.
Yeah.
Like, you had to make sure, like, okay, let me see
Add a
what,
little bit more spin rate to the
and
ball.
then you had to see what the trajectory of his swing was.
Exactly.
And then once you kind of figured out what he was doing, his pacing, you're like,
Right.
okay, I got you.
Right, Izzy?
Serve you up. Serve you up.
Exactly.
I like it.
Whatever.
Hey, but the big man can swing it. He can. He's an athlete. He's an
Yes.
athlete. I've hooped with him. I've been in the cage with him. His arm is, I'm just going to say, his arm is shit. Did you ever hear about his road?
Now it is, yes.
Did you ever hear about his road to 85? So
Road to 85.
he thought he can throw 85 miles an hour off the mound if he trained, if he had some help doing this. So,
Okay.
all right. So we're like, let's do it. I'll
Right.
help you. So he
Right.
started training, working on his arm a little bit. We brought the radar gun
Time
out.
How long did we train?
And not
A
very
week.
much. We didn't.
A
Oh,
week.
yeah.
And then he leaves to go
No.
to Mexico, so I'm like done. So we try to top out at the last time he's
No.
there.
He got on the radar gun. First time he was on the radar gun, he topped out at 62.
Bruh.
So then he's like, I got a long way to go. And then he goes.
That's an understatement. I got a long way to go.
And then he goes, okay, yeah, 85 is pretty hard because I was like, I don't think you realize how hard 85 is. Like,
right.
90 miles an hour is like fuel. People
Yeah,
think,
it's gassy.
like 95, 100. So he's like, I could throw 85
No.
if I train and I did it, because he played Little League.
Right.
So he thinks he can. He thinks he can not only hit a homer, but he could throw 85 too. You know?
If I didn't have my shoulders falling off,
Here we go.
Then I might.
So wait,
Here
what
we
what
go.
did he top out as?
62.
That was it?
I hit 67.
No.
That
62.
second time when we were outside, I hit 67, and then that was like crow hopping into it, not off the mound.
Okay, that don't count.
Bruh.
Yeah, shoot. If we get a crow
That's
hop
so
and throw, I
far.
could probably throw 100. Now
That
I'm
is
like
so
90.
I
far
know.
away
It
from
is.
85.
It was a week though, and I haven't thrown a baseball like that for
But
probably
even
15 years.
even someone like, let's say yourself, you can probably pick up not exactly where you left off, but close to where you left off, which tells me that you never were close to 85 ever.
I've had shoulder surgeries and literally just got back from the doctor and said I have severe bone-on-bone arthritis in my right shoulder.
But he knew this beforehand, so he still thought that he could
Still
throw
thought.
85 with this.
Without
thought,
ever
you know?
throwing a ball
All
in
right.
the last 15 years. So
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I'll digress.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
still think I could get it up there a little bit if I just played catch for months.
65, yes. I think 65.
I was about to say you'd be stretching saying you could get to 70.
so
70.
too.
It'd be a big stretch. You got to understand, these dudes that are throwing that, it's crazy. It's insane. It's not a joke.
I saw a stat the other day talking about like how many guys are having Tommy John nowadays versus back in the day.
Why do
because
you
now
think that is?
everybody's chasing velo.
Okay.
Velo and spin rate, like the new 95 is the new 90. People are throwing 100 all the time, and instead of pitching, and I'm not trying to bash on it because this is just how the game goes.
Right,
It's like,
right.
just like the NBA, how it's changed with the threes and everything, but velo plays, and if you don't throw 100, you don't really get a shot.
Right.
So these young kids are chasing velo, chasing spin rate, looking at the numbers because that's what baseball has come. It's
Right.
not the same. It's spin rate and velo, and the location is second.
I was thinking that maybe it was the amount of games that are being played compared to where we were growing up playing Little League, playing high school. We didn't play nearly as many games as these year-round sports that are going on now.
That is true. That can be a part of it, but I think that you still don't really throw as much, 182 game, 162 games, they've been playing that forever. And
Right.
guys used to throw like starters would throw 30 games, 35 games, they'd throw 250 innings. That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
So like in the big leagues and in the minor leagues, people are throwing less.
Okay.
But then kids are throwing harder sooner. I
Yes.
don't know if they're throwing more, but they're throwing harder sooner. So they are working on speed and velo from an
Okay.
earlier age. So I think that
It makes sense.
that could have an
Yeah.
effect, but I mean, I don't really know. Tommy John is one of those things that you can't prevent from happening. It's just when it's going to happen,
Wow.
or if it's not, because I had it. I've got the scar and everything, and they said that that ligament can't withstand the force of one 90 mile per hour fastball. If you didn't have all the muscles around it, it would just go. But you have all the muscles around it, and you try to stay
Right.
in shape and be able to go. But that ligament can't withstand that force.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of time. So if you're a little bit sore or a little bit off that day, and now you're putting more stress on your elbow, it can just be that. Like your
Yeah.
mechanics can be sound, but you're just off
All right.
on that day. So it's tough.
Good to know, because that's something
Just
that
in
I've been
case,
trying to figure out.
just in case he needs to have Tommy John after throwing
I'll probably
67.
get another shoulder surgery before anything else.
You're starting to make me feel bad for you.
No,
don't feel bad for me.
Let him eat.
Don't feel bad for me. I don't want the sympathy. I love all the hate.
Wow.
I love it.
He does, but
I thrive on it.
That's how you became a dog, huh? That's how you became a dog. You were like, nah, man, put me in the trenches.
Yeah.
Put me in the trenches. All right, I ain't mad at you, Kenny.
Put me in the mud, you know?
All right.
Speaking of becoming a dog, how did you start this journey on the radio and sports? Like, did you always, have, because you got the voice for it, obviously. You got the personality.
Right.
Like, anybody turns on the radio, they know who it is. But that's
Uh-huh.
now. When you were younger, coming up, is this what you wanted to do? Or
Nah.
you just kind of got like,
Nah, I
just
just
kinda
lucked
found it?
into it. I was in college, and I didn't know what I was going to do in life. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. And I was walking by the college radio station, and they were outside looking for people to become DJs. And they were like, look, come inside, check it out. If you like it, you can continue to stay on the radio. And they said, you could play whatever you want, say whatever you want. So I was like, no, wait, hold on a second. Y'all gonna let me go in, get on the radio, bring my own music, and say whatever I want? They're like, yes, that's exactly what we're telling you to do. And you could have an hour every week. So I said to myself, all right, cool. Stockton, KSJC, we're like, why don't we do like 5 of us together, all hip hop, start early in the morning and go all day long. And that's kind of how it started. And then we were making a little bit of noise. So the local radio station, the real radio station in the market was like, hey, they got these guys over there playing all hip hop on the college radio station. That's where I was found. And someone said, would you like an opportunity to become an intern? Come to the radio station and we'll teach you what it's like to be a professional DJ. And I was like, hell yeah, count me in. So it really, for me, started by luck, by chance, just walking by a class.
what were you in college to do? What was your major? What were you trying to
Party?
figure it out?
Have a good time.
What college was this?
San Joaquin Delta College.
Delta, okay.
That's right. SJC. Man, come on, baby.
SJ.
209 Mustangs. Not playing
Come on,
around.
Wiggins. Put some respect on the
Yeah,
Mustangs,
come
Wiggins.
on now.
Whatever.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I went to San Joaquin Delta College. And then from there, I transferred to the University of Pacific. I only was there for maybe a semester before I realized this is what I want to do in life. And so I'm like, nah, I'm just going to chase my dreams.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did.
So you were just yourself. You kind of always
Yes.
had the personality,
Yes.
liked to talk, and so it was just natural for you.
Mhm.
And then you kind of started to put some work into it, saw
Right.
this as a career, and then you pursued more from there.
That's exactly it. I mean, I took the time to sit back, study some people who I really admired. I went
Who are
through
those guys?
I went through phases where I was like, oh, I'm going to sound like Big Boy, or I'm going to sound like the Baker Boys, or I'm going to sound like Rick Chase from KMEL. There were a lot of DJs who I really enjoyed. And I was like just kind of a chameleon. So if you listen to early CK, you'll be like, he's trying to be like Rick Chase, or he's trying to be like Big Boy, or he's trying to be like the Baker Boys, because I didn't really know who I was. I didn't have an identity. And then I just kind of realized, I'm going to be myself. Someone told me that a long time ago. The best version of you is how you're going to be successful. So that's what I kind of dialed in. I'm like, you know what? I have a good personality. I'm a good dude. I like to smile. I'm halfway decent looking. So, there we go. Let's go.
So just you being you is what really kind of did that also give you the confidence, because you were kind of like searching for like how to be, and you were like watching Big Boy kind of like NFL watch films. Okay, like what
Right.
does Big Boy say? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that. So then you weren't really authentic, and
Yes.
then now like you like everybody that's listening to you know that you're like 100% authentic with like
Right.
everything that you say and that you do. So I feel like that's kind of one of the main reasons why you are successful, is because you're just kind of yourself.
Early CK was not like that. Early CK was horrible on the radio. And back then, I wasn't even CK. The name they gave me, so my real last name is Hall. And there was a dude that was already on the radio station. His name was Kevin Hall. So when I finally got my chance to go on the radio, they're like, just so you know, we can't have 2 Halls here. I'm like, oh, okay. So we went through a phone book. And the last name that they came up with was Kennedy. So the first couple of air shifts that I did, I went by the name of Chris Kennedy. And I did that for, I want to say, about 6 months. I'm like, this sounds really, really corny. And so then I was like, well, I'll just go by Kennedy. And that sounded cornier. So I was like, damn it, I'm going to go by CK. But I knew that was going to be a bit of a problem. Growing up in Stockton, living in that area where it's pretty gang infested, I had my fair share of people who are like, oh, you must be out here crip killing. I'm like, no, I'm not out here trying to claim any gang. It just happens that I didn't like the name that they gave me, so I shortened it up, and thus CK was born. Here's the crazy thing about this story. So I worked in Sacramento at KSFM. When I first went there, 1025. When I first went there, the first 30 minutes of my air shift was me explaining how my name was originated and that it was not gang related. When I worked at K-Day in LA, they wouldn't even let me go on as CK. Obviously because the gang violence in LA. I went by CJ on the radio there. Telling you.
Jeez.
History of the CK right there.
That's
History
crazy.
of the CK.
So CK came when you were, well, I guess no, because
I thought killing Crips. That's where it came from.
No, don't listen to him.
You heard it here first.
Stockton and LA is probably not the two areas to go around.
It
being
was
called a Crip
crazy.
killer.
I had family members who they bang, right? Crips.
Yeah.
And they were like,
What are you doing?
so that's how it's going to be? I'm like, I'm your cousin. No, stop. You all know it's not even like that with me. Like,
Did you ever have any like serious altercations because of that?
You know
or?
what? Because I think everybody realized quickly that it wasn't even about that. And if you know me, you know my personality, you listen to me on the radio, I'm not some sort of tough guy. I'm not a gangbanger. I don't do nothing like
Crip
that.
Killer.
Right, I'm not a Crip killer. I mean, if anything, CK stands for Captain Kickstand.
Oh gosh.
Oh God, do you get it, Izzy? Izzy got it. I think it. At first, did it go a little bit over your head? It's all right. He's young. He's just getting used to us.
I'll tease it.
No, he's not. He's serious.
Kenny was like, "Oh my God, why did we invite him on?" Kenny's like, "Why did we
No.
invite CK on?"
No, this is exactly what we.
Yeah,
this is
no doubt.
exactly what we're about.
No doubt.
This is it.
Dude, we've lived in locker rooms for a long time.
Oh, so then you get it. All right,
get it,
all
bro.
right.
Yeah, Kenny and I always talk about like with Izzy, we were
Right.
kind of joking. We were like, "Hey, man, I've showered with way more men than women, and it's not even close."
And it's like normal.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
even phase you.
No.
Yeah.
Like
No.
you know the amount of male booty you've seen, more than Diddy. Sorry, my bad.
I think we're a little too old for Diddy. You know what I mean?
Are you though? Are you?
I don't know. I think he. Yeah, I don't think he. What's it called? What's it called when you age discriminate? Is there like a? I don't think he discriminates.
No.
I know someone's gonna be mad at that. They're gonna be like, Diddy is he hasn't had his day in court.
Okay, anybody that's like accused of playing with little boys' booty holes.
Oh my
you know what
gosh.
I mean? If it what was it? What was it? Cat Williams that said that playing with out the little boys' booty holes. I don't know. This is gonna get canceled before it even
Wow.
starts. No,
Wow.
just kidding. We own it, so ain't nobody can tell us what to do. Right,
All
Wiggins?
right, all
Yes.
right, all
I
right.
told Kenny to start pushing the envelope. He goes, I don't know about that.
I can't yet.
He's easing into it though. I can tell. I can tell he kind of want to unleash a little bit. I
He
can tell.
should.
I
He should.
I do. But I got I'm a family man.
I'm
know?
a family man too.
Yeah, you're not gonna say nothing that's like bad because you don't believe in
Right.
anything bad.
That's
Like
true. That's true.
You're a good person with a kind heart,
I am.
I don't
with
know
a
about
devilish personality. Just let it shine.
Yeah.
Let it
Hey.
shine.
that. You ever seen Kenny box?
Now, I have not seen Kenny box, but he's seen me at the Mayweather gym, and it's not pretty.
Bad?
Bruh, I can't go.
That's okay.
Bruh.
Ain't nobody like.
Dude, you talk a big game, CK.
What? I'm horrible.
No, you're not. You're not the best, but you're not
See?
you're not great.
See?
Like horrible.
I'm in there gassed.
It's
After
hard.
the first circuit, I'm done.
Oh,
And I just
did
hit
a
the
two
bags,
circuit?
dog. I just hit the bag.
No, he like talking about one round.
Yeah,
round?
one round. Like I think it's like 8 rounds total.
8 rounds. Yeah, you made
I'm
through
like,
one.
man, I'm good. And I don't want to get on the treadmill. Like I try. So here's the trick. Like for me, anytime I went to Mayweather, I'd be like, I want to start on the treadmill because if I don't start on the treadmill, it's gonna kill me if I'm doing it in the middle or especially at the end. So you might as well get round 1 on the treadmill first and then go from there.
I like it. That's a smart strategy.
For me, yes.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a big dude. Can't go in there and just think I'm just gonna start out boxing folks. Go all 8 rounds.
You can do it.
Nah, man, I had a strategy. Treadmill first.
You can go at your own pace, bro.
Nah, man, it's embarrassing. Like, you can't go at your own pace, and then other people out there out hustling you, out working
Especially
you.
when CK walks in, they're like, "Hey, look, that's CK.
Right.
Look at CK on a treadmill. He looks like he's gonna fall off a
So
treadmill."
that's why I had to have a tactic.
Smart.
I had to have a style, like, so that way I could look cool out throughout the circuit. You feel me?
Smart.
Okay, sorry, we getting off track.
No. You want to know what it's like? If you want to see Kenny as a boxer, just picture an offensive lineman
Okay.
boxing.
Yep.
That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like he's trying to block the bag, but he's throwing punches. Looks like he's trying to block Aaron Donald. He's sitting in his stance.
Right.
He had to get a whole lesson. Jose Ramirez tried to help him, but he's just been in that set stance blocking for so long that he just can't get out of it. And the bags are a little bit shorter, so he's got to squat.
So then he squats down a little bit, so then it looks a little awkward.
Yeah,
right.
Izzy was there. Izzy's got the footage of
you gotta show the footage.
Jose Ramirez, one of the best boxers in the world, trying to help Wega and me too, because we're asking him because we want to be good.
You train there, like
Yeah,
you
it's
are
legit.
a trainer, so you know kind of how to move. You know what you're doing a little bit.
I'm good. I'm good. He's not.
Oh damn!
But at the same time, I can see why. He's big. He's too big to box. It's like Tyson Fury out there, but he's not.
But not Tyson Fury.
No, because he's got that set stand. It looks like he's boxing, and then he's just blocking the bag. He's not really throwing punches. He's just blocking the bag.
You got to think, what I've been doing my entire life is everything on my heels.
Right.
Throwing punches.
Okay.
Right. And that's not what boxers do. They're on their toes. They're bouncing around. So anytime I want to generate force, I'm throwing all my feet into the ground. Everybody's rolling onto their toes.
I see.
He's blocking.
So it's just different. It's just different. It's having to change what you've been doing your entire life to like.
You know what? I kind of understand that. I kind of see what he's saying, because if he's been doing that so long in the NFL, doing that so long from high school to college to the NFL, that's just kind of his vibe. That's just his natural stance.
Yeah, and when he said it, I was like, oh, that makes like complete sense.
Right.
Like, hey, put up the clip.
It doesn't mean
we got to
that
put up the clip during
it's
this
pretty.
right now.
It doesn't mean that it's pretty, though.
No, it's not. But, like, so Jose's giving lessons.
Okay.
And Kenny's listening.
Right.
And he's in. And Izzy's got a shot of his face just, like, locked in.
Uh-huh.
Just, like, like, mentally taking notes. Like,
right.
I got one of the best in the world. I better listen to what he's saying. And he's locked in.
And he was focused.
Listening. Yeah.
I'm not mad at you.
I have no, like, ego when it comes to that kind of stuff. I love to listen to people when they're like the top of their craft.
Okay.
No matter what it is, it doesn't matter. I love taking notes from you when you talk about radio stuff with me and Paul. Like, Paul gives me pointers all the time, which is great. So it's like
I need some pointers.
I have no.
You do a great job. You have a great personality, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Don't come on.
What he does?
Sucking them off. CK.
First of all, pause. No Diddy.
Pause. What are we, Dame Dash? Hey, we're in here talking about food. Pause.
Pause. Hold on, man. We got to slow that conversation down.
But I mean, that's the thing. You see people that are really good at what they do, and I just want to soak it all up, no matter what it is.
Yeah,
and it's just,
makes sense.
Yeah, it's just how I am.
Yeah, and it's rare for an athlete in football, basketball, or baseball to get tips from a boxer,
right?
And a world champion,
right?
Boxer, somebody that you can just talk to as a friend. Like it was a very cool experience. Just like be around him, get to do a podcast with him, go to the fight, watch him fight. Like
right.
One of the coolest things is him coming in, to the gym, to Mayweather.
Right.
And he does the same exact workout everybody else does. He does the same combos everybody else does, which he could change the combo a little bit, be like, I want to work on this. But he's doing the same exact work.
But you know what? Follow me on this. Now tell me if I'm wrong. So Jose Ramirez, he comes into Mayweather, and what you guys are teaching are classic Mayweather combinations. So why would he not come in and do exactly what you guys are teaching? Because you guys are basically taking the information from the Mayweather fight that he used to win that fight, teaching it to us. So now imagine you being Jose Ramirez going, all right, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to listen to these guys. Here's the reason why I'm going to listen to them. Because Mayweather himself used these exact combinations to win a fight. How do you know he's not going in there saying, wow, that actually is a great combination, and I may use that in a fight myself?
I mean, I'm sure he's watched every single way.
I know, but I mean, think
Yeah.
about it for
Yeah.
a second. It's almost like a good way for a boxer of that caliber to come in and go, all right, so that's what Mayweather did in that fight. And now I'm going to master it over this training session. And now it's now in my arsenal. Just saying.
Maybe.
That's how long.
I think-
That's how long ago CK was in when we were still doing Fight of the Weeks. We don't
What?
do-
I'm
we don't
just
do the
saying.
Fight-
Oh, you
Fight
don't
of
do
the
Fight
No.
of the Week anymore?
No, not really. We haven't done those in a while.
Oh,
But,
okay.
but-
all right.
But same kind of thing, though.
also-
We still pull from the fights and everything.
Yeah, everything is from there. But also, he's given athletes way too much credit. We're not that smart.
Yeah.
Right,
We're not
okay,
that smart.
all right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I just thought maybe it was a thing. Like,
I am.
yeah, and you're probably right. We're just not smart enough to, keep up with it.
all right.
I'm smart. I'm smart enough.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Good night. Good night. All right, so the ESPN show.
Fox Sports show.
Oh, so
Fox
it's
Sports.
on Fox Sports.
Fox Sports. Yeah.
What did it used to be on ESPN or no?
No. It's always been on Fox Sports. Fox Sports 1340.
Fox Sports 1340. But you
Yes.
do ESPN radio. For
He
the-
goes on ESPN
for the
radio
Fresno State
sometimes.
games.
Nope.
It's Fox.
Even Fresno State
Yeah.
games are on Fox Sports 1340.
iHeart
Yeah.
Media, right?
Yeah, iHeart.
Yeah.
that wasn't even close then.
No, it's all right. People get it mixed up all the time.
Yeah, because you just assume, ESPN radio.
That used to be
The home of the
Radio.
Bulldogs, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ESPN
yeah.
used to be the
Oh,
home of the
okay.
Bulldogs, but now Learfield took it over, and now it's Fox Sports, and they contract through iHeart Media as well.
Yeah.
So it's but it's
It's the
still
same
the show.
thing.
It's
It's
just
Still
a
the
different
same
word. Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Still
So-
the same concept. It just went from ESPN radio to Fox Sports.
Yeah. So for you talking, hip hop
Mm-hmm.
and the culture and all
Right.
that, and then talking sports, do you change your personality at
No.
all, or do you just stay exactly the same, but you're just using your kind of like interview skills and trying to just keep everything together?
So when I first started doing the sports show, because that was something that just came up in the last couple of years, I thought to myself, when I'm doing this show, I want it to still be CK. That's why it's called CK on Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And I also do what I call hip hop in sports. I take the vibes that we have from the hip hop world and use that in the sports world. And anytime I have guests on, or like for example, I had a guest on, we did a whole 10-minute segment on the recent beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
We're gonna get into that next,
And
right, Izzy?
It
We're
was
getting into that next.
crazy because the guest understands like the show is kind of like hip hop and sports, and he was talking about it in a manner of like boxing matches. Here's the way you have to look at it and dissect it. So like we'll say, for example, with this beef that just took place, it was like a heavyweight title fight. You have to dissect it into, there were 8 songs total, 1 round each. And then the preliminary fight was Quavo and Chris Brown, who had a beef. And then Chris Brown delivered a knockout in that fight. If you go back and you listen to Chris Brown against Quavo, ooh, Chris Brown smoked him, smacked him good, smacked him real good. So, yeah, so then you break it down and you go, all right, let's look at what's going on with this beef between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. So you break it down. They had 4 songs each. I don't know all the songs by heart right
So
now.
how did this start? Because Izzy was kind of explaining it to me a little bit. First person shooter with J.
Right.
Cole. And then it
Kendrick.
it
But
wasn't
first person shooter was J. Cole and Drake. Yeah.
But Drake made a comment about them 3, and then Kendrick was basically like, keep my name out your mouth.
Right.
And then J. Cole felt bad and took the song down.
Well, hold on. That's
Like-
a quick version of it. That's a quick version of it. So you
Okay.
had
Give me the full.
First person shooter, you had Drake and Kendrick. Basically, J. Cole was like, look, we're the big 3.
Yeah.
Me, Drake, and Kendrick. Next thing you know, Like That comes out. Future, Metro Boomin, Kendrick Lamar. He says, F the big 3. It's just Big Me. From that, it's when everything took off. But they've secretly been dissing each other for quite some time. Now it's finally come to a head. Thus, the heavyweight title match between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Now, J. Cole did get in there. And I'll be honest, I like what J. Cole brought to the game. But J. Cole knew that it was going to take a lot out of his spirit. And that's exactly what this battle did. I think that this battle was a lot. By the time it was done, I was ready for it to be over. And it was a lot of bad things that came out during this battle, and I realized why J. Cole said, nah, I'm good. This is not something for me.
It wasn't worth it.
Wasn't worth it. So I respect J. Cole for his mental, for being a man and saying, you know what? I'm going to apologize for this diss record that I just put out. And at the same time, I want to let y'all know I'm cool with everybody. I don't really have no real anger towards Kendrick. Me and Drake are good.
That don't
We're
give him
fine.
that don't help his street cred though.
But you know what?
Because all the memes coming out, like he don't have to deal with it. But now like the street cred and hip hop scene.
But I feel like the times are different too, where it's like you don't need to have like the bad boy, like tough guy in hip hop anymore. You can be like a Drake and be soft and be like a dog still. You know what I mean?
I think hip hop is a lot of things for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I think some people want to sit there and say hip hop is just street. And I say, no. It's never always been just street. We've always had balance. Even when you go back to before NWA came out, Ruthless Records purposely gave us JJ Fad Supersonic to soften the blow before they unleashed Ice Cube, NWA, and Eazy-E. They're like, we're going to give the world this pop record. JJ Fad Supersonic, by the way, one of the singers in JJ Fad is from Fresno, teaches at Central. She's come on the show quite often. Shout out to her. Ooh. So with that being said, and she'll tell you the full story, they used Supersonic to soften up Ruthless Records. So that way, by the time NWA came out, now they had an image, they were known, and it was a balance.
It's not just all...
Right, all gangster rap.
Yeah.
It wasn't all gangster rap. So
I think now
why.
too, like it's not. You don't have to be hard. Like as long as you're putting out, like you might get put in a certain category, but like the old school, like the old heads might say, "Oh, that's not hip hop. That's not this." But like people say Drake's soft, but he's still at the top.
No,
like,
Drake's nice.
You know what I mean?
Drake's
so
nice,
it's like it like doesn't matter. So there was eight songs, like 4 and 4. They kind of went back and forth because I would see people put on their Instagram stories or they would put Twitter like, I knew that there was a beef, but I ain't got time to go back and do all this. Like that's a little bit more. That you're trying to give the people what they want to hear.
Oh, no, I listen to every song, and then I have to analyze it, break it down, figure it out.
So we got to get our information from you, so you got to find out what's going on. So that's why I was like, hey, Izzy, CK's got to tell me what's going on with this.
But see, Izzy's up on it. Izzy kind of knows as well.
He knew. Yeah, he knew. I ain't got time for that shit because I'm out there doing business. I'm making money. I'm selling homes.
He said, I ain't got time for this.
Izzy's over here looking up what's going on in the next next hip hop beef. Me and Kenny are running boxing gyms and got kids. You know what I mean?
And my job is to analyze the beef. My job is to sit down, break it down, understand it, and then kind of give it to everybody in a way that they can get it.
So is it over? Is it in the middle?
I think it's over. It should be over.
So if it was a 7-game series, who won the series?
You're not going to like this because I think it's a draw. And I know that Kendrick fans will sit there and say,
both
wait,
fans.
wait. Hold on a second, CK. How you going to say that it's a draw when he gave us Not Like Us? In my opinion, Not Like Us is the biggest hit of the whole battle. And it's a West Coast anthem. LA, the Bay, everybody in California slapping it. Here's my problem with this battle. The fact that Drake leaked information and Kendrick took the bait. So now you look at Push Ups versus Euphoria. I think Push Ups is the better song. Then you have to put 616. I believe it was 616 is what Kendrick released next. And then Drake gave us the AI track. I forget the name of it. Tailor-Made Freestyle, which was kind of... So, I'm like, okay, well, I kind of have to give that round to Kendrick. So I'll go Drake, Kendrick. Now, here's where it gets a little fuzzy. My opinion, Drake's best song of the whole thing was Family Matters. He releases that, and 30 minutes later, we get Meet the Grams. Come to find out, everything that was in Meet the Grams was leaked from Drake's camp. Kendrick Lamar believed he had a mole, someone that didn't want to see Drake win. So Drake purposely fed him information. So a lot of the information that was in that song was debunked, like the fact that Drake has an 11-year-old daughter. That never was the case. Drake said that himself, leaked the information, and then Kendrick ran with it. So now, Family Matters wins that battle. We go to the final round. You have the Heart 6 versus Not Like Us. Not Like Us wins. There you go. That's my draw.
What do you think of this, Izzy? What do you think of this analysis?
Was it a good breakdown? Was it a good breakdown? And now, was it an accurate breakdown though?
That was accurate.
I mean, and I went through this objectively, and I'm gonna be completely transparent with everybody. I like J. Cole. J. Cole was the guy that I was rooting for from the very beginning. I was like, all right, we get to see Cole in the battle.
But you never
We
got
get
him.
to see Cole in the battle, but I respected what Cole did when he said, you know what, it just doesn't sit right with my soul. It doesn't sit right with my spirit. And when you look at everything that happened during this battle, it didn't sit right with me afterwards. One person's claiming someone is a pedophile. The other one is claiming the other one is a women abuser, a wife abuser. I didn't want to hear none of that. This is the last thing that we needed, was to watch two of our biggest stars tear each other down in a manner where it's criminal. It's one thing to say how someone's rapping, or it's another thing to make fun about how someone's dressing. It's another thing to even make fun of different aspects of your life. But when the biggest part of the battle is this person's a pedophile, this person's a wife beater, I'm like, oh hell.
Now it's a little bit too
This
more.
right here, this is crazy.
It's almost like the comedians kind of living on that, like, fine edge where they just push it a little bit too far.
Yeah. So when it was all said and done, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of exhausted. I was ready for it to be over.
I'm exhausted right now.
I know,
You just
right.
spent
I
5
know, I was
minutes.
just like, what's going on in my head?
It was a lot. It was a lot. I understand. But I will say this. Kendrick gave us the biggest song, but Drake did something that we never have seen in a battle before.
So what you're saying is,
Leaking information. It was like Sun Tzu. It was like Art of War tactics. You got to give him credit for that.
yeah. So Drake kind of pulled a little bit out of Ryan Garcia's tactics there, because all of his trolling and everything was pretty fake, and he was acting like he had a tick, and he was going crazy on Instagram trolling, but the whole time he was training, ready to go, acting like he was drinking beers on stage, but he wasn't. It's just apple cider.
Right.
And then Floyd told him to weigh in 3 pounds overweight. Did you hear that?
I did not know that.
Yeah,
so
so-
Floyd told him to do that?
He's got the FaceTime. He's got the FaceTime with Floyd telling him to weigh in 3 pounds overweight. So when
Wow.
he made that bet, Floyd had already told him to weigh in 3 pounds overweight. And then after he fights, he calls up PBD. I want to come on the podcast and talk about it. And
Wow.
then he said everything was fake. Like, he was still kind of going out and partying, but he's trying to make it seem like he beat Devin Haney without even trying. That's what he's
Right.
trying to make it seem like. But he was training. A lot of the videos that were posted, he pre-recorded months ago, and they were posted. They were trying to make him look like, number one, it was hyping the fight.
Right. He did
Nope.
that.
Number two, he was a severe underdog.
Yes,
and he
was.
went and bet $2 million on himself,
Right.
and won $12 million. So he was, and then now he's become the ultimate troll.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
For
he
sure.
used his trolling to win the fight.
Yes.
And that's kind of how Drake kind of like, hey,
Again,
we're going to put this out a little bit. So then he's going to take the bait, because Haney
Yes.
took the bait. Everybody took the bait.
everyone took the bait. Art of War, Sun Tzu. You got to.
Art of War.
What? What?
Art of War.
What? You don't know about Sun Tzu?
No, I know. It's just funny. It's
What is
I'm
Sun
agreeing
Tzu?
with you.
What is it? Izzy don't know what Sun Tzu is. Explain
Izzy,
it to
you
us.
know about Sun Tzu and the Art of War, right? Oh, my goodness.
Okay, let's go.
So I read this book maybe like 10 years ago, and it was about tactics and strategy on how to win the war, how to win the battle. For everyone that is listening right now, that's watching this podcast, or wherever you're getting this, if you ever want to know how to beat someone in the game of life or anything, the Art of War, Sun Tzu, you gotta do it.
It's
Garcia
good. I know,
did it.
I know the book.
Drake did it.
I've heard of the book. I haven't
Wait,
read the book.
Even during your football years, they've never even talked to you about the Art of War and Sun Tzu?
I don't read KC or
CK.
Jeez.
It's all right. I get that all the time.
He can't read.
That's another thing that
I had a
happens to
cat
me.
named KC. Okay.
People will say that, hey, man, how you doing, KC? I'm like, hey man,
I
it's
ain't the
CK.
chicken, man. What's
Like,
this going on?
And you know, people know Big Boy, right? The people like, hey, what's going on, Fat Boy? How you doing? I'm like, I'm not Fat Boy. I'm not KC. I'm like, that's so messed up. But yeah, people are like, hey, yeah, man, I listen to you on the radio. What's going on, Fat Boy? I'm like, first of all, I'm not him. Second of all, damn it, you just called me fat. Third of all, my name is not KC. Wow.
My bad.
No, I'm not mad at you. I just get flashbacks sometimes
I know.
of when I was called Fat Boy, and they were just really trying to say Big Boy.
There's the focus right there.
Oh,
Look at the focus.
look at Kenny.
Look at the focus.
Kenny is dialed in.
Dialed in.
Kenny is dialed in.
This is the picture of Kenny Wiggins watching Jose Ramirez as he's giving him boxing lessons. Kenny's locked in.
I'll tell you what. He came in to Mayweather like a couple days before his fight and was getting a little workout in like by himself with his trainers. Dude's special, bro.
He is.
Dude is special. And like how he was just so dialed in like 4 days before his fight and just like working out, like doing this like punches and everything on the treadmill, just sweating. And like it was like he was like getting ready to fight that night. You know, like he was just like so dialed in. I'm like,
wow.
Man, it was cool to see from like far.
You got to.
Yeah, you have to. But like
you're going into war, man.
I didn't know because I mean, I got ready for games and I'm sure you got ready for games too. And to see that far out, that laser focus, like, right, like that would be like me on like a Wednesday getting ready for a Sunday game, like being like locked in the whole entire week. I'm like, well, that would be draining for me.
That's different though. Mm-hmm. This is different. They fight like back in the day. They would fight a lot. They almost stayed in shape. He's fought what, twice in 2 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So for him to do that, for us to do that, almost impossible. Mm-hmm. Like for me to do that when I was playing locked in every day. I think that's one of the hardest things about baseball because it's actually very difficult to check out. Like everybody says after the game, oh, leave it at the field. You can't. Constantly thinking about it. Like he's got to play a game every week. You got to be like, you're kind of always locked in. Like as a boxer, you like after the fight, you're kind of checked out, right? You don't have to
decompress.
Yeah. And then like when you go to camp, you get to lock in. So like him going to camp is like us going into the season, like where we think that we're checking in and checking out, but we're not. Like you're like always locked in. I think it's just like more intense to where if you only played one football game per year,
that's true.
You would have been locked in that whole entire week
for sure. But
and you almost would have been over amped up. So I think the most impressive thing about him is he fights here in the Central Valley,
right?
Fresno. Everybody's there to see him,
right?
Everybody's there to see him.
Yes,
he's that he's like amped up and he talked about it when we did the podcast with him. If you haven't listened to it yet, go listen to the episode. He kind of talks about his like entrance and like he doesn't really hear anything. He kind of hears the music and then like ding ding and he's just like locked in.
Right.
And he wishes that he can live his whole life like that. Like, don't we all do it? But for him to get that, like I would be so amped up, I would just blow my load in the first round. But he's like so methodical and knows how to box. Like how he just calms himself, like how like any boxer calms himself. Like I'd be shaking. Like it doesn't matter how good a shape I'm in, I wouldn't know what to do. But I guess at the same time, if somebody goes on the mound, they'd be nervous. Or somebody goes into an NFL game, you'd be a little bit nervous. But watching somebody prep to go into a fight, like you're going to a battle, like
war.
It's not a basketball game,
right?
No,
like people died. You know what I mean? Like it is like a crazy thing. So for him to be that calm is really impressive to me.
But I go back to the focus that he had. I think that everything that you just said is right on the money. You have to be that focused.
Have to.
Because the guy across the ring from you, he wants to knock you out. He wants to knock you senseless. Your job is to be focused and to prevent that from happening. I could see him on Wednesday, Tuesday, even Monday, like, nah, I don't got time to worry about what is going on around me. I'm only worried about one thing, the opponent that I'm fighting on Saturday night and being dialed in for my plan. So I could see why he was definitely dialed in. You have to be. You have to be.
Yeah, it was just cool to see, like that, like him dialed in that long, like
man.
And here's another thing too is that's something you got to see something like when he did come to the gym. Nobody else gets to see that unless you're in his camp. You don't get to see. Floyd didn't let cameras in until he fought Conor McGregor.
Right.
He would do like a media day. He just
Right.
put on a show, but when he was training, nobody would come into his camp. You wouldn't see it. So you very rarely get to see a boxer or an MMA fighter
in that mode. Yeah.
Prepare for it. So like for you to get to see it, like that was kind of a rare sight.
Yeah, and it's like, and his whole entire team that was there too was like locked in, right? Like they were like, it was really cool to like watch, and it's like all about him, and he like super respectful and all that kind of stuff too. It's not like he's like bigger than them, you know. It's like they're working as a team. They're working together.
Yeah.
They're working like dude's wiping down his bags, and he's like, "Thank you."
And
he's
they've
like,
been doing it for a while.
forever.
This,
So they
this,
know,
this wasn't
you know?
his first or
Yeah.
second fight.
So
Like,
so they know everything and how he works and everything. It was just really cool to see how it was just like laser focused, dialed in, like, and because when he comes into Mayweather normally, he's talks with us and has like conversations and does all that stuff, but this time it was different. Like it was like, all right, like, and being a former athlete, I wasn't trying to have a conversation with him. I was like, dude, do what you got to do. Go have like just the gym is yours. I locked the door, like you guys can put your music on. He put on super soft music, super quiet music. And I was just like, yeah, it was cool, man. It was very, very fun to like see that side of it too, of a person who is at the top of the game, you know, like that's really cool.
yeah, I like the music.
Yeah.
When I like, kind of like later on in my career, I like listening to that stuff. That's what got me like fired up, like the piano, kind of like, you know, Les Brown,
Right.
you know, like speeches, you know, like Tony Robb, like talking where it was, because it was different. Like early in my career, like, you know, like I'm bumping the hip hop, I'm trying to get like amped
you had
up.
the vibes.
Now
The
that's
motivation
yeah.
got you.
early, and then
Yeah.
and then later it was almost like different types of music changed my like motivation.
Always like built up until like my song that I would like play before I came, like my last song I would listen to would be like my one I would go to every single time.
What was your song?
It
What was it?
Legacy by Eminem.
Okay. What about you? What was your song?
I mean, I didn't really have one. Everyone's like, you're just kind of bumping music in the locker room, and then it's just kind of like your feel. But my song when I went to pitch was "Homecoming" by Kanye West.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Both you guys have some really good songs.
Yeah, man. It was just, I don't know what that was. I think it was from Marshall Mathers LP2.
Yeah, it was
Right.
an old one.
Yeah. And yeah, man, it's just because that was one thing that I've always wanted to change for like my last name was the legacy for like my kids to live by, right? And that just spoke to me. I don't know why.
It hits you,
hit me,
exactly.
yeah.
So you getting that feeling is like when I would listen to like other stuff, not like hip hop music, kind of like the piano or like, you know, somebody talking to where it was just calm and it was like, this is why you're doing.
Yep. That's
Right.
exactly why.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. I always wondered, like, what was the rationale behind certain songs? So, like, you in Homecoming and you in Legacy, I think it's dope to
So-
kind of understand, like, why those were those songs that got you going.
See, but it was, so I had Homecoming when I was in A-ball. And then
Okay.
I went to AA. And then when I came here, I actually got a lot of flack from it, from the dudes, from like the
Oh,
big league
really?
dudes, because, here, you know, Perez, hometown kid with Homecoming. Like, they thought that I just played it there because
Right, but that
I
was your
from here.
song.
But it wasn't. I had
Right.
already had. I just liked the beat. I just liked everything about it. It was cool. But I had this saying when I would run in. So when I got put in the bullpen, it was kind of like it was almost like a demotion. Like when you go from a starter to put in the bullpen when you're in the minor leagues, it's almost like a demotion.
Okay.
So like I've like crushed it, and I was just like working my butt off to basically stay and like not get released. So I would work super hard like when I was in AA and then like eventually AAA, and then when I had a lot of success, I just kept doing like the same thing.
Right.
And whenever I would run into the mound, I had this Les Brown speech that would go off in my head, and I would just repeat it. I would start like when I would start running. I remember because when I was in AA, I used to jump over the fence. So instead of like going all the way behind and walking around, it was just like a short. All of us would do it.
Okay.
And I would just jump over the fence, and when I would land, I would hear Les Brown talk, and then he would
Right.
say his whole thing, and it was almost like perfect timing. It didn't matter where I was when I finished this speech from Les Brown. I was hitting the infield grass, so I ran through like the infield dirt, and then I hit the grass, and
Right.
then I was at the end of my Les Brown like speech. So it's almost like Les was talking to me as
Firing
I was going
you up
in.
as you were heading into the mound.
And
Okay.
and that was one of those things that it got me like super locked in because it got me to focus on, me or like the legacy or my family or like all the people that are sacrificed something for me to be here, and that got me locked in more than like rage, like crazy, like like some guys got to do that. They got to get a little bit crazy. Me, it was more of like calm. Like I just had his voice in my mind from this tape that he had where he was talking. I only had him, and that got me more fired up. But it kept me calm, and then it gave me like superior confidence. Right. So then, like from 2014 all the way on till 2022. Les Brown was in my head when I was walking in.
That's dope. That's dope. I love hearing that.
Yeah.
I love that energy because just like with Les Brown, and this is what I tell everyone, music hits your soul. So when music hits your soul, these are things that attach to you for a lifetime. So I remember when I was interviewing Kanye West, I told him, I said, your album is the soundtrack for my life. It was the album when he did Roses, and there was a lot of things going on in my life. It was Late Registration, and I was like, everything that he did in this album, I'm feeling it. So I interviewed Kanye, and I let him know. He was like, yeah, the soundtrack for your life. Why was it in the very next interview, Kanye West comes out and says, the music that I'm trying to do is to be the soundtrack for your life. So it was a year later, I interviewed Kanye. I said, man, I got to talk to you about something. About a year ago when this album dropped, I told you what's going on in my life, how it was making me feel, and I said, it was the soundtrack for my life. I go, bro, you went on and did several interviews talking about, I'm just trying to make music for the soundtrack for your life. He goes, yeah, that was you. That was you. So my whole point of even bringing this up is because it really does hit you that way. Les Brown hits you that way. Eminem Legacy hits you that way. I've always found it very telling when you listen to someone's walk-up song or what is that song that gets you motivated when you're about to go on the football field. It tells a lot about a person.
Yeah, because certain songs take you back to a certain time.
Yeah,
right?
timestamps.
Like certain songs that we hear in high school or certain songs that came out in spring training. And then like whenever you hear that song, at least me, it happens a lot. Like I'll hear that song and I'll go back instantly to that time. Yeah. And it's not always good, right? Because it might take you back to a memory where you were kind of, struggling a little bit. And it happens with me because there was times in my career, I know Kenny too, where you're down and then you look back and you're so thankful for that. But then when you think about how you were feeling in that time, you're like, man, that's tough. Like it was even harder than I remember. Right. Because when you're in it, it's not that bad. Like, yeah, you're struggling, you're going, but you're in it. When you look bad, when you look back, you're like, damn, I was in it, and I got out of it. Oh, I can do anything. Yeah. I can do anything, and it gives you confidence, and it's a big deal.
And it's crazy how different music has different effect on different people.
Right.
So like the same song, I could listen to the same song and it has a total different effect than you have it on you, and you have it on you, which is what's so great about music.
It's like, personal.
It's personal, exactly. Everybody can relate to it differently, or even like take one part of their life, like you said, and timestamp it or whatever, and that just brings you back to a time that you struggled or had a good memory, right? Like there's still times where it's like, bro, like T-Pain in college was like on every single one of our mixed CDs, and every time I hear this song, I'm like, Wisconsin,
right? I'm gonna buy you a drink. Why do we both say the same thing? Because I'm telling you, you're right.
Because we're crazy.
Like that, you go back instantly to that time in your life. You're like, man, buy you a drink, T-Pain. That was a good time of life.
And T-Pain hit. Like he came out in like an era to where he kind of changed a little bit. Yes. And then you didn't know how talented he was until after his career, because he hasn't really done what he did back then. Like, right. But you hear him without auto-tune, and then you kind of get to hear his personality too, which he has. You didn't like when people are making music, you don't like interviews and Instagram wasn't as big as it was back then. Now these people coming out, you can watch him on Instagram, you can see that. But then at the end of his run, his personality came out more because he was talking. Then you see him sing without auto tune, right? And then it made you have a different love for him, but the same love for him, and it's
It's crazy. T-Pain is one of my favorite artists.
T-Pain, man.
And I remember when I realized when he was on The Masked Singer,
dude,
I was like, that's T-Pain. Everybody's like, what? I'm like, that's T-Pain. That guy right there underneath the mask, it's going to be T-Pain. Sure enough, he won that year. Boom. T-Pain.
It wasn't even close.
Awesome.
It wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close.
He was
He's
the best
awesome.
by far. He might have been the best out of the entire.
By the way, I love The Masked Singer.
I do too.
It's one of my favorite shows.
Dude,
it really is.
I kind of fell off a little bit for me, but I loved it when it was like in the beginning stages.
Yes, yeah. And it's crazy.
Everything
sometimes.
fell off for me and Kenny. Once you have 2 kids back to back, everything kind of
falls off a little bit.
Now you're watching Miss Rachel and Bluey.
We don't watch those. I try to put as much sports on as possible.
No, you're still watching Miss Rachel and
No,
Bluey.
we have not. My kid has not watched Miss Rachel or Bluey.
Kenny's not. Yeah, he's not smart enough to.
Oh wow! You know that will buy you time right there, right?
That's all right.
Miss Rachel will buy you time.
No, he don't need time. He just kicks him outside. Go play.
Get your ass outside.
All right.
Yeah, man. So do you have, kind of talking about this, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, like, do you have, because, everybody has their rituals and routines. Like the routines are things that you do every single day,
right.
Especially like when you have a schedule, things that get you going, make you feel good through the day. And then the rituals are things that you do right before an event. So like mine was, when I was running out, I had Les Brown. There's certain things that I would do around the mound to get me locked in to go to peak performance.
Right.
Is there anything that you do before you go on the air that's kind of stuck with you over the years?
There's one thing that I do every time I take the mic. And I say a prayer and I say, God, give me the strength and the words to say so that way I can have an entertaining show, affect somebody, and make a difference in somebody's life. I say that every time, whether we're going on Fresno State, whether we're doing CK and Carmen in the morning, or before I start recording for CK on Sports. Because I feel like we all have to use our platforms to make a difference. And maybe my platform is to put a smile on your face while you're into work or give you a great story that's going to make you go, man, life's not so bad. Whatever the case may be, I always say the same thing before I jump into the studio and get on the mic. God, give me the strength, give me the words, allow me to entertain and make a difference in somebody's life. So that's it.
And then it's just like you almost get out of your own way.
And then I get out of my own way because
like, use me.
Then I'm like, use me. That's exactly it. Now I'm just going to be the vessel. I don't know what I'm going to say. I have fun with it. And it comes back to my personality.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the way I fly, man. Like, of course we prep. Of course we have an idea of what we're going to go into and talk about.
It's not luck, right, Kenny? It's not luck.
No, man. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Exactly.
Okay, so I tell everyone that. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. If you're trying to get to the next goal in life, you have to be prepared for the opportunity. That's the luck. So when someone comes to you and they say, hey, you know what? I have this opportunity for you to try this out. And you're like, I've been preparing for this the entire time.
Yeah.
That's when luck meets the opportunity, or that's when preparation meets the opportunity. And that's what I call lucky. So you always got to be ready. You know, in the words of the old street prophet, Sugar Free, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
That's what Floyd said, too.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, Sugar Free.
That's it, man. Stay ready.
If you stay
right?
ready.
Stay ready, yeah.
You ain't got to get ready. Come on, man. That's Sugar Free.
Hey.
Street pimping.
Sounding like T-Pain.
You know what I'm
He
saying?
can sing a little bit, too. He can sing a little bit. Yeah, that's awesome. And Tony Robbins does almost the exact same thing before he goes on stage and does his seminars. He just says, like, Lord, use me.
Use me.
And, like, because if you've seen, like, any of his things, he has, like, this little trampoline.
Right.
And he, like, jumps on this trampoline, and then he, like, goes out. And that's, like, his, like, ritual to get him locked in. He does the same thing as you.
Right.
And then he's like, I say that, and I get out of my own way.
Right.
I'm just like, Lord, use me. Like,
yes, you got
like, use to whatever, to inspire, to help, to, yeah, good stuff. See, man, he knows what he's talking about. Wiggins, you were talking shit before the show.
Wiggins was like, I don't know why we're having CK on today. What is the whole point of this?
I've been telling him for months.
I got ghosted a couple times ago. A couple weeks ago when I asked you and you didn't reply.
And what I say when you asked me recently? I said, you know what? I realized I missed that you asked me before.
Okay.
So that was my fault.
Ghosted.
I guess I did ghost. That's my fault. That's
Oh,
my
no,
bad. But I'm
you're
here
good.
now.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
You're here now. All right, we got a couple things to get into here, kind of outside the box. Well, not our box, but
All right.
your box. So
Let's do it.
we got a few things here. Number one, Kenny wants to get into this a little bit. Austin Rivers. Mm-hmm. Did you hear what Austin Rivers says?
Go ahead. Break it down.
So Austin Rivers was on the Pat McAfee show.
Right.
And he said, I can take 30 players right now in the NBA and throw them in the NFL. You cannot take 30 NFL players and put them in the NBA. And then J.J. Watt comes back, I think today, because he said it, 2 days ago?
Okay.
J.J. Watt says, you don't got a job in either right now.
Wow.
Go ahead and try it.
Wow. Hey, but you know what I'll say, though? If I were to look at that statement, I would say you could take the NFL players and take them to the NBA. I don't think you can do it the other way around.
Yeah, so
I think the NFL players could go into the NBA.
we were trying to figure out what guys can play in the NBA transfer to the NFL. Everybody's going to say, LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
He gets bumped in the head and he cries for 45 minutes on the floor.
Right.
Like,
No.
But it's different. If you put him in that sort of scenario, because I was telling Kenny, I was like, if you put these guys in a locker room with other like-minded, tough guys, football guys, because the NBA is a little bit more of a show. It's
right.
entertaining. They do a lot of this stuff to entertain the fans because at the end of the day, sports is entertainment.
Right.
If you're not entertainment, you're not gonna watch.
That's true.
Right? Like whoever's in charge of the sports is gonna make sure that the most entertaining people are there. So NBA, there's a little bit more limelight on you. You can't hide behind the helmet. So I think that they put on a little bit more of a show, a little bit more, I guess you could say kind of like, prima donna type stuff. So if you put these athletes in the locker room, I'm doing a little kiss ass for Quincy too a little bit. So you take some of these athletes, not the tall, lanky ones, but like kind of the average, and you put them in NFL locker room.
Right.
Over time, I think they might not be as soft.
I see exactly what you're saying. I get it, but
I think that you can take the NFL guys.
Yes.
And they can
develop the skill.
No, I think that they can put up a result faster.
I agree. I think that there's so many NFL players that were Division I college basketball players or had the ability to be Division I college basketball players.
And some did. And some played basketball in college and played in NFL.
And some did both. So now you take someone who already has the foundation, and when you talk about world-class athletes, because that's exactly what these guys are, you're telling me a world-class athlete that already knows how to play basketball, if this is what they're going to focus on instead of football, they're going to be able to go ahead and give you 10 and maybe 5 in the NBA. Easy. And maybe even more.
I don't know if it would be easy.
I don't know. Defense is not at an all-time high in the NBA. People are just Swiss cheese right now.
That's true. But I mean, the skill of it.
So I can watch them.
The skill of it is what the defense from, or not the defense, from the transition from football to basketball.
Okay,
right?
All right. Now I see what you're saying.
I just think the skill level, it would be hard to, it would be easier to translate skill wise than it would be to translate physicality wise from basketball to football.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So you'd probably say like the top few guys, you'd probably take Zion for sure. Maybe you put Draymond Green in there because he basically plays football on the court.
He's tough,
anyways,
man.
Right?
He's tough, yes.
Okay. Have you seen him play football?
Well, he is tough.
Have you seen him play football?
No.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
So,
wait. Draymond played at Michigan State?
He did a little spring ball. Action.
Okay, he's number 83. Oh, okay, yeah. They're highlighting it. Let me see this. Oh, hell. Oh, hell no.
Stance is wrong.
Draymond is looking bad.
Stance is wrong. He's got the wrong hand on the ground.
Yes.
Kenny pointed out. Wait till he gets wide. Look at that stance.
Jammed him up off the line.
Yeah. Look how much bigger he is than the other guy too, and he just got
Tough guy Draymond.
He got stood up.
Wow.
Tough
So
guy Draymond.
he's a bully.
Oh my God.
He's a bully in the NBA.
Yes, in the NBA, you're like, oh, Draymond handles business.
Yep.
But what I saw right there,
That was probably a third string corner
that
that
was-
just hemmed him up.
it just hemmed him up.
was-
That wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Wow, Draymond looking bad.
Yeah. So Kenny, that pissed Kenny off a little bit right there. So I just want to get your take, and you agree on him.
It was funny.
It's all good fun, but you know what?
Austin
Man,
Rivers.
that was horrible. Austin Rivers,
You know
man.
what I mean?
Shut your damn mouth, boy.
You know. All right. Did you see what I sent you on Instagram this morning? About MJ. So have you heard this? So
about
and this comes from Stephen A. Smith, right?
What? You about to
Okay.
drop some tea on me? What?
All right. So, I got it right here. So MJ was quoted saying, and this is from Stephen A. Smith. So he's saying it. Michael Jordan says he was sleeping with 3 to 5 women per day during the 2001 season, and then it quote, It was during my later years, women were coming to me left and right. I have kids out there I haven't met, and I'm sure one of them is currently in the NBA.
Anthony Edwards.
Exactly.
Anthony Edwards.
So
my wife actually said
that look
Anthony Edwards looks
so-
exactly like Michael Jordan.
Anthony Edwards, born August 5th, 2001. So if you're in the NBA season, December, January, he might have been conceived, and that timeline matches up perfect. Look at that.
You know what? I cannot wait for my wife to see this and listen to this episode. She watched Anthony Edwards and she said, he looks and plays just like Michael Jordan. He has the same smile. He has the same physique. He has the same style of play. He basically is Michael Jordan reincarnated. So now understanding that he was raised without a father, I don't know who his mama is, but if his
That
mama
is the
comes
key-
out and tells us she had a one-night stand with Michael Jordan, I already know how this story goes.
And also that's the thing is he never met his father. So MJ's got 2 sons in the NBA right now.
Jimmy Butler's the other one.
Jimmy Butler's the other one. Have you seen this side by side
Oh
of him
my
and Jimmy
God.
Butler? It is
Okay, I have not.
it's even more close. It's even
Wow.
more close.
Okay, I got to see the side-by-side
Oh, man.
of MJ and Jimmy Butler. This is blowing my mind right now. First of all, the Anthony Edwards thing, I had no idea that he was raised without a daddy. Oh my Lord, yes.
Look at that.
Yes, I see the side-by-side.
And okay, so there's a story for this.
Okay, give me the story.
A bit of a conspiracy
Wait, this is the
theory.
Anthony Edwards story.
No, that's Jimmy.
That's Anthony Edwards right
Where's
there.
Jimmy Butler?
He had the Jimmy Butler. But I mean, if you look
got
at
the Jimmy Butler?
if you look at this photo right here
Oh.
of Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan,
Here.
they are the same person. Oh,
That's
okay.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, Michael. Okay, I'm looking at it right now. Go ahead.
See, so there was a story that MJ was, on the road of this, basically the same thing as Anthony Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, never met his dad. He was born here, this, and his mom told him that his dad. So what was it? Something about like his dad couldn't tell who his dad was, and she had to like sign something.
NDA.
and- yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. That's like the rumor. So
No, I believe
allegedly, we just say allegedly to keep
it.
us.
Did she get cashed out?
That's the story.
Right. Well, I mean, okay.
So now MJ allegedly has got 2 kids in the NBA.
Wow. Okay, this is fun.
And he said he's got kids out there he didn't even know.
Oh, I believe it.
Kenny,
I believe it.
Wiggins, would you be able to handle 3 to 5 women per day? Per day, Wiggins?
No.
What about
The
you,
way
CK?
he said it.
What about you, CK?
No.
I can barely handle Tootie
Yeah.
as not even, you know what I mean? But that's a different story from a different day. We'll
No,
keep that.
Michael. But see, here's what I'm gonna say: these dudes out here, these NBA players, athletes, not YouTube, they got time, and they're city to city.
So that's what Izzy was asking me about earlier because he was asking me if this happened in baseball, and
Come on, man.
football,
Come on,
like
man.
NBA,
You baseball players, come on, man.
Here's the thing, though. It's a little bit different because he asked about the NFL, and I was like, NFL is tough because you're not on the road as much.
No, and then you get now again. You can talk about this, but I would think that you get into a city on Friday, you're done on Sunday, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you even have time to bring women into the room?
No, we have security guards on the floor. I mean, you could go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you couldn't bring them into your room.
See, but like the NBA, there's no rules. I think it's like encouraged. I think it's
get out
encouraged
and
to get
live
out
life.
just slay beef. You know, I think that's just part.
He said it's encouraged.
Baseball, I know that it happens. Like there's guys that I might not agree with it, but if they want to do what they want to do, it don't matter. But I know that we had really good player personnel guys that would see a certain name on the guest list.
And they knew.
And then the wife say, hey, I'm going to surprise my husband. And then that guy go, okay, I'm going to move her on this side. I'm going to put the wife here and I'm going to put her in charge of this. And the player never knows.
Right.
So people.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
And so I was thinking about that. Could you imagine in the NBA, those player personnel guys, they got to deal with 4 or 5 women coming to each game.
But they only got like 10 dudes, though. 12 dudes to deal with.
But still, those dudes.
Yeah, but
Our dudes got 53 dudes to deal with.
Yeah, but the NBA guys got 3 to 5 girls a night.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because they're different.
Okay.
NBA dudes is different.
Okay, here's a question. What's more impressive? Michael Jordan, 3 to 5 girls per night when he's what? He was 38, 39 years old at the time, right?
Right. Because that's when he was playing for the Wizards, right?
Playing for the Wizards.
Right.
Still scoring. Or him playing 36 holes, drinking 10 beers, and then going and playing in Chicago and dropping 40.
That's probably more impressive.
That's way more impressive. That's way more impressive. First of all, 36 holes.
36 holes.
10 beers.
10 beers.
40 points. Nah, come on, man. That's way more
And
impressive.
he said he was going to do it. He told the guy that who he was playing golf with, I'm going to go drop 40 tonight. And he did.
They're like, there's no way your drunk ass is going to go drop 40. He's like,
Should
watch
there even
me.
be a debate? You know what I mean? Like the GOAT, like I don't see LeBron on the golf course. You know? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's safe to say that Jordan is the GOAT. There ain't even a question about it.
Yeah.
And now that we know that Anthony Edwards and Jimmy Butler are his seed, there you go.
That's even more GOAT.
even more impressive.
Yeah, because you have Bronny who he's got a stroke to get into the NBA, and then Bryce, his younger son, we don't know, might be a better player, but
I feel bad for Michael's real kids.
Yeah.
I mean,
what makes them
the other one,
I mean,
the other
ones
might be his real kids too.
Well, I mean, the ones that actually had the Jordan name, because then we were watching them, we're like, come on, man.
Wasn't he a Michael Jordan Jr. too? Or?
Come on, dog. Come on, man.
Yeah.
It was looking all sorts of bad.
What about when Bronny didn't want to wear his dad's number or something because he didn't want to like live in his dad's shadow, or he didn't want to use his dad's name to like help him be famous when when his name is LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, too late.
You know?
Take advantage of it. Use it. Wow, okay.
It's true. If you don't use it, you lose it. All right. Coming to the end here, we could do this all day.
You know what? This is fun. I'm enjoying myself.
We gotta do this more. We get CK. He's not the boss. He's just kind of sitting back and enjoying. I love it. I love every second. So you've listened to the episodes, right?
No, of course, yeah.
Okay, so you know what we do at the end when we ask the 10 questions.
All right, let's go.
And you know that Wiggins is a hard critic.
All right.
So you kind of know. And we're not changing them.
What?
This is your time to shine.
So this is your time to shine. 1 minute on the clock. Izzy, give me a countdown. He don't have time to think. Go. What is your favorite sport?
Soccer.
If you can eat one thing all day, every day, what would it be?
Chicken.
What's the most famous contact in your phone?
Baby Bash.
If you were a potato, how would you like to be cooked?
Fried.
3 things you're bringing with you on a deserted island.
A raft. Some Cheez-Its crackers. And a bottle of water.
Sports team you hate the most in all of sports.
Cowboys.
Favorite non-sports movie.
Non-sports movie?
Non-sports.
Juice.
Dinner with any sports star, dead or alive. Who is it with?
Allen Iverson.
If you were a stripper, what would your stripper name be?
Crisco Paloma.
Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
Wow, that's a tough one. I got to go with Drizzy.
55, so you beat sub. You beat sub 1 minute.
Quick.
See, but the tough thing here is Wiggins is a tough judge.
All right,
to
go ahead. Go
start.
ahead.
But if you don't answer what he thinks is a good answer, and don't make any jokes about chicken. Okay.
Right. I like chicken. I love chicken.
What kind of chicken?
I like all. You know what?
What kind of chicken?
I like chicken, man.
What
I
kind?
like chicken.
What kind of chicken?
I like chicken. I like chicken breast. I like chicken thighs. I like chicken wings.
Is it cooked deep fried in oil?
It's delicious. I'm not giving you the satisfaction. And I knew as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, here goes Kenny and shit. I already know. He's going to be like, CK, really?
All right, Wiggins.
Typical. I mean, show up an hour late, say chicken.
See, that's the Wiggins we need
See,
more
there
of.
you go.
See?
Oh, racist ass Wiggins.
Yeah.
Am I saying anything racist?
I'm just stereotypical Wiggins.
Am I just
Yeah.
stating facts?
Goodness.
Because what happened?
I was a little late.
That's
Okay.
true.
But I'm here, though.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
All right, it wasn't. I mean,
What, you didn't like my answers?
Juice is technically a sports movie,
No. How is Juice a sports movie?
isn't it?
Juice with Tupac?
Doesn't it have? Doesn't
I
it,
don't know.
No.
Isn't it basketball? Isn't there basketball in there?
No. There's a DJ battle in there. Omar Epps, Tupac.
What am I thinking of?
I don't know.
What other Tupac movie is the basketball
I
movie?
think you're thinking of O.J. Simpson.
Huh?
It's a crime thriller movie. It's not sports related.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Juice.
Come
I
on,
can see
man.
the cover of it, like in my mind.
Yeah, and Juice plays. Tupac plays Bishop, one of the best characters
yeah.
of all time.
Yeah. I'm thinking of what is that?
It's all right, man.
He's been hitting the head a lot. Like I
It's
said
okay.
from the beginning,
All right,
I get it.
CTE. It's
So-
what- he
So
been-
what about my Crisco Paloma?
I do like
That was a good one,
Where'd
right?
Where'd that come from?
Well, because
Okay, I got a question.
Oh, go ahead, tell me.
Are you that big of a Cheez-Its guy? That's the one thing, Cheez-Its?
no, Cheez-Its they're delicious.
Yeah, so you got to make sure that you have Cheez-Its.
Well, because Cheez-Its, you can eat Cheez-Its anywhere. So if you're telling me I'm stuck on an island, I'm like, I'm going to have this raft because I'm going to get off somehow. I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to float. But I'm going to have some Cheez-Its and I'll have some water. I'll be all right.
He'll make it.
I'm going to make it. I wouldn't be stuck with Wilson of volleyball, I'll tell you that for damn sure.
Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its.
All right.
You got to have Cheez-Its, bro.
All right, Wiggins, where do you
Cowboys,
go? Okay, so
soccer.
What's wrong with soccer?
Nothing's wrong with soccer. It's just not my top three, and that's what we were going off of.
yeah, it only
Oh,
matters.
that's true.
So it's like it's what I like, right? Not what you like.
I thought it was the best answer.
Of course, the Mexican guy over here.
All right, go ahead.
called football.
Go ahead. So wait, so do you not like chicken?
I love chicken.
All right, what kind of
I
chicken
love
do you
fried
like?
chicken.
Fried chicken.
Yes.
All right, yes, delicious.
Give me the thighs all day.
Man, I'll tell you right now, boy.
All right,
My
I'm gonna
wife
go.
makes some damn good fried chicken. I'll tell you that
And he's
for sure.
judging right now.
Man,
I'm gonna go.
Is he better than Greg Pinelli?
Yeah, no doubt.
There you go.
I'm gonna give
Okay,
you
cool.
a 7-1.
oh,
I
Wait.
got to tell you,
wait. Hold on a second, because
where does that put him? Where does that put him
Where
on
does-
the list?
He's high.
Name him from the top to the bottom.
wait,
How
I'm
far
not even
down is
close
he?
to the top.
We got Isaiah and Walden 8-1.
8-5. 8-5.
8-5. 8-5.
Them answers must have been hella good.
Gabe
I
8-4.
I think Dr. B's was the best. I think he was drinking that day, so I don't think
Dr. B 8-4 as well.
8-4.
And
Okay.
I'm 7-1.
That's what I'm saying. I don't agree.
Keyshawn 8-2.
I'm not even in the top 5,
Mike Oz 7-2.
bruh.
Carson 7-5. And then you.
Wow.
Okay, so your top 10.
Wow.
We've
Hold
on-
on a second.
We've only had 12 guests.
Wow. So where'd I lose points?
You didn't answer the way he wants you to answer.
Yeah.
That's
But what
that's
was wrong
it
with
is.
my answers?
Soccer? I
Soccer.
think
You don't
that's what
just
holds you
because you don't like
Do
soccer.
you know what I really did like? I liked the Allen Iverson answer.
Okay.
I thought that was good.
That's a
All
good
right,
answer.
all right, good
That's
answer.
unique.
Right.
Unique.
You would have been in the 8s for me, CK. You would have
Thank
been
you.
in the
I
8s.
appreciate
You
that.
would have been. Izzy, would he have been in the 8s?
Thank you.
Soccer
Yeah.
soccer was like a
What's,
drop down.
you just
for
wanted me to say football?
You say no, basketball, golf, football is my top,
Okay,
top
got
three.
you. I love soccer. Okay, all right.
fine.
I'm gonna
That's
lose
fine.
points then, I guess.
You
What
are.
about my porn name though?
You're-
Crisco Paloma, dog.
It's a stripper name, not
Stripper
a porn
name. You know what I'm saying?
Same shit.
I mean, that was pretty good.
You know Crisco. You know, put the oil on the body.
The Cheez-Its threw me off.
What's wrong with Cheez-Its? You don't like Cheez-Its?
I like Cheez-Its, but I'm not bringing it on a desert island.
Then what are you bringing on a desert island? Steak?
On an island?
Wait, he's bringing steak? How you cooking it?
Fire
So then, what are you doing to start the fire?
with sticks on an island. You're gonna have just
Bruh,
have,
that shit don't work. Sitting there doing this shit with some steaks that are spoiling. Your ass is gonna starve.
oh well.
He'll be sitting like this. Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna get this steak.
You know how fast you go through
I'm
a
gonna
box
get
of
this
cheese?
steak. Hey, I'll ration those Cheez-Its.
Yeah,
One-
fucking right.
Give me
One
one
Cheez-It
box
per day.
I'll be like, man, okay, I'm just gonna get in this raft. I'm gonna float. Man, get the hell out of here. 7.1. Damn.
Hey,
Yeah,
you're passing.
It's okay. I make the rules, but I don't make the rules. So, Kenny Wiggins is on that right there. So, if you guys don't agree with this one, make sure you go at Kenny.
Yeah, you got to.
Do it.
Follow him on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Send us a DM and say, Kenny.
Why do I feel
Let
like
him
this
know.
shit is Family Feud? Like, okay, what was the top answer? Like, fuck,
There isn't. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
It's just-
saying.
you just have to answer to him.
I have to answer the way he wants,
So
Yeah.
you get graded on how fast you answer.
which I was good.
Good.
You were good, and then you get graded on how well Kenny agrees with your answers.
Originality was there.
I agree with you.
There's no changing it. The score's the score.
You know.
You can come back on. We'll change up the.
Nah, man, nah, fuck all that. Fuck it.
Yeah, let me do my bonus question real quick.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
wait, what is
okay,
this one?
Okay,
What is this?
Izzy's got a question. We got a question.
Okay.
From the patrons.
All right.
Can I ask it?
Ask her. Yeah.
So, what celebrity have you met that ended up being a total douche?
Okay, I'm gonna say this because you can't hear on the mic.
Go ahead.
What celebrity have you met? When they come into town, you guys are giving away the tickets and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. What celebrity did you think was cool, but then end up being a douche?
There's two. One in person and one as an interviewer. In person, it was Queen Latifah. She was hosting an award show. We happened to be at a bar, and it was me and a couple of my coworkers. My wife was there, I believe. And we're like, oh, you know what? Let's just go up and tell her how great of a job she did with the award show, and just, hey, say it was nice to meet. We'd like to take a photo with you real quick. We're not trying to stand you. We're in the business. So we get up. She ignores us. Completely ignores us. Then the guy that she's with is like, hey, look, she's not trying to talk to you right now. Hey, man, look, we're not trying to get in your business. We're not even trying to get an autograph. We want to say that we appreciate your craft. You did a great job hosting the show tonight. As a matter of fact, we're here for the radio junket. We've been interviewing people, and all the artists that were on the stage, we interviewed them. We just want to tell you, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Nah, played us.
She wasn't having.
Wasn't having it, wasn't looking at us, wasn't talking to us. So then Luda, when I did an interview with him, it was earlier in his career when I knew that he was a radio personality. And I was like, man, a lot of people may not know this, but Luda, he's a dope radio personality of Atlanta. Everybody knows that. I was like, oh, okay, that's how you're going to go at me? Well, if you're a Luda fan, then you know I came from the radio. All right. I think we're done.
Was a fan, huh?
Right. And so ever since then, I'm like, man, fuck Luda.
Man.
Yeah, he was a dick, man.
Was he?
Yeah, he was a dick.
I got the clips on.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Izzy's just been over there loving every second of this.
Rock hard.
Was it Izzy? Was this your favorite
No,
episode?
100%. This is the best podcast episode done here.
And on top
know
of that,
why?
my answers were the best. All right, fuck. I should have been fucking up in the nines the way I answered that shit. I was ready. I was focused.
Fuck.
I mean, you do. You
Because he doesn't want to see me succeed.
no, he
He doesn't want to see
He
me
doesn't.
bubble up. He's like, man, nah,
He
fuck
don't
that.
want to. He don't want to see it come up.
Right,
He don't want to see it.
I'm always Team CK.
Bruh, you gave me
What
a
are you talking
7-1.
I'm always Team CK.
You called him KC earlier.
know.
That's true. And you got me. Man,
CTE.
let me get the fuck out of here.
CTE.
Let me get the hell out of here.
All right, we out. Make sure you follow us, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're following CK.
Listen to CK.
You already
in the
know
morning
who he
shows.
is in the morning show, the Fox Sports.
Sports.
Don't listen to Kenny when you listen to the sport. You know what you should do? You should
What,
go.
what?
You should go ham on Kenny live in the radio when you guys are talking about the football games. Fresno State
I can take it.
coming soon.
I like Kenny, though. He's a good dude, despite him not knowing who I am, despite him giving me a 7.1, and despite him not giving me credit for just being original and being an overall awesome guy.
Oh, I love you, man. You're my guy.
I'm out of here.
All right, CK, appreciate you.
All
Till
right.
next time.
See
Bye-bye.
y'all later.
3, 2, 1.